Would you believe me if I told you I haven't written a YouTube script from scratch in months? And my videos are better than ever. The video you're watching right now, AI wrote it. But not just any AI. It's part of a system I've built that lets me create long-form educational YouTube content on autopilot. And at a level I never thought I could sustain. And today I'm going to show you exactly how it works. From the frameworks to the prompts, the teleprompter setup to the retention data. This is the full behind the scenes breakdown of how I built my YouTube script engine using AI. Let's get into it. I used to sit in front of a blinking cursor, wasting hours just trying to figure out how to start a script. One idea, one page, no structure, no flow, and zero momentum. But now I take a thumbnail idea, drop it into my AI system, and within 90 minutes, I've got a fully fleshed out script that's ready for the camera. No guesswork, no writer's block, and no burnout. And here's the crazy part. It's not generic AI stuff. This system is trained on my voice, my audience, my goals, and my scripting style. It gives me high retention hooks, teaching frameworks, energy markers, and even breathing cues for the teleprompter. It's how I script faster, speak better, and actually finish videos that grow my brand. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to use AI to generate structured, human-sounding YouTube scripts. Train it to match your voice and brand, format everything for smooth teleprompter delivery, and use it to become consistent and prolific without sacrificing quality. And I'll even show you the exact system I use so you can copy it if you want. Here's how this video is going to flow. First, I'll show you how I trained the AI to understand me. Then the prompts I use to generate full scripts. Next, the structure I follow to make every video flow like an audiobook. Then, how I format everything for teleprompter shooting. And finally, how I measure, improve, and scale the whole thing. But first, let me take you back to where it started. I used to think I had to do everything myself. Write the script, structure it, edit it, deliver it. All while running a business and trying to be consistent online. It was seriously overwhelming. And it nearly burned me out. Then one day, I realized something. What if I stopped trying to do everything and instead built a system that did the heavy lifting? That's when I started feeding my best scripts, my hook formulas, my tone and voice into ChatGPT. Not as a quick hack, but as a full-on custom script engine built around me. Now it understands my audience, my goals, my tone, my structure, my teaching style, and every time I open it, it's like having a script writer who already knows what I'm trying to say. Let me show you exactly how it works. Let's break it down. Now, this is where most people think the magic is. They go, so you just type in a prompt like write me a YouTube script and boom, content? If only it were that easy. Let me show you how this actually works. Because what you're seeing right now, this script didn't come from a one-line prompt. It came from training an AI with a detailed blueprint of who I am, who you are, and what this channel is about. So let me take you back to the beginning. The first thing I did, and the first thing you need to do, is tell the AI who you're here to serve. I had GPT ask me a series of deep dive questions. Who is your audience? What do they want to achieve? What are they struggling with right now? What do they believe that might be holding them back? And what are you here to teach them? And I didn't just rattle off some surface level fluff. I told it the truth. People like you, business owners, consultants, entrepreneurs who want to scale their brand using content, and who are smart enough to know they shouldn't be doing it all themselves. You want to build a system. You want remote workers. You want to sell with videos. You want your message out there without burning out. Sound familiar? That's the first thing this AI had to understand, and we locked it in. So we loaded the full channel purpose into the engine. This channel documents the journey of building a personal brand while scaling with remote teams, selling with video, and using smart systems to grow a business without growing gray hairs. Pretty inspiring, right? Yeah, I didn't write that either. AI did, from my notes, with my tone. It's weirdly good at sounding like me because I taught it to. This part's important. If you're going to use AI for scripting, it has to sound like you. Otherwise, you're just reading a blog post from someone else's voice. So we trained it. I gave it examples of my writing, transcripts of how I speak, my voice notes, my client calls, all of them fair game. I literally told it, hey, GPT, imagine if Jocko, Tim Ferriss, and an ex-chef turned direct response writer had a baby. That's the tone. Add dry humor, occasional F-bombs, don't make it fluffy, make it hit. And it did. Now, if that sounds insane, don't worry. You're not the only one thinking, did this guy really train a robot to sound like a caffeine-fueled South African Aussie marketer with ADHD and a gym habit? Yes. Yes, I did. And that's what you're hearing right now. This isn't a chatbot voice. This is me fed through a content engine that knows how I talk. Then we added the real power. I uploaded my full video scripting system into the engine, my favorite hook formulas from years of copywriting, my hero's journey storytelling structure, my preference for educational deep dives that feel like a mix between a podcast and a TED Talk, my template bank with structures of listicles, how-tos, rants, behind the scenes, and sales videos. We even documented and saved hook frameworks like everything you know about X is wrong. I used to believe X until I discovered Y. And here's what happened when I did this weird thing for 30 days. So when I want to write a new video, it's not starting from scratch. It's drawing from a well-proven structure that's custom built for how I teach and you consume. This is what I want you to take away. This isn't write me a script about YouTube and hoping for the best. This is conversational, it's punchy, it flows like I'm talking to a mate over coffee because the AI knows how I think. It knows what makes my audience tick, and it knows I'd never say something like, in today's content, we will embark upon a journey. Come on, I don't embark, I walk. I march, I rant, I joke, I occasionally fucking swear. So that's what it writes because that's what works. So that's the real engine behind this. Before we get into scripting and teleprompter formatting and all the juicy stuff, you have to get the foundation right. Audience, tone, purpose, style, structure. When you lock all of that in, you've just given AI a brain transplant. Your brain, your voice on autopilot. Pretty powerful, yeah? So let's keep on going. All right, so we've built the engine. It knows my audience, it knows my tone, it knows my structure. And now it's time to use it. This is where the rubber hits the road. The prompt? The prompt is how you talk to your AI co-writer. And just like with humans, if you ask vague questions, you get vague answers. So let me show you exactly how I speak to mine. When I want a script, I don't just say, write me a YouTube video about hiring VAs. That's like walking into a restaurant and yelling food. Instead, I brief the AI like it's on my content team, because it is. Here's an example of what I'd give it. I want a 15 to 20 minute YouTube script for entrepreneurs who are overwhelmed by doing everything themselves. The goal is to show them how I use AI and remote workers to scale. Make it 80% teaching, 20% personal story. Use conversational tone, sound like me, dry humor, direct, South African Aussie, slightly caffeinated. Script should follow my hero's journey structure. Start with a killer hook using either a contrarian or curiosity angle. Add open loops to keep retention high. Include visual markers for the editor and breath points for teleprompter. Now, does that sound like a simple prompt? No. That's a creative brief, and it's what makes the difference between content and this. Just to be clear, I didn't memorize that prompt. This script you're watching now, I literally asked AI to remind me what I tell it, and it reminded me what I tell it. Welcome to 2025. It's like having a memory boosting clone who also has better grammar than me. Sometimes I'll use preset prompt templates. I've got one for deep dives, listicles, behind the scenes breakdowns, sales videos, client stories, FAQ videos, evergreen tutorials, and each one has its own flow, tone markers, CTA style, and pacing preferences. Why? Because a 3-step tutorial about outsourcing is very different from a sales story about building a 7-figure legal funnel. They need different vibes, so the prompts reflect that. Now, here's a rule that changed the game for me. I never start with the script. I start with the title and thumbnail. Why? Because if nobody clicks the video, the script doesn't matter. So I come up with the title first, something curiosity-driven, Ben's-friendly. Big shout out to Ed Lawrence and the guy he learnt it from. And ideally, scroll-stopping. Then I ask, what is the promise this title is making? What does the viewer expect to learn? And how do we make the script deliver that fast? Then and only then do I ask GPT to write the video. This video, the one you're watching, started with a screenshot. This one right here. I saw that and I thought, yeah, all right, that's clever. It was Ed Lawrence, of course, absolute weapon on YouTube. Credit where credit is due. The guy knows how to package a video, but as soon as I saw it, I had this flash of inspiration. Wait, I've got an entire AI-powered YouTube scripting engine. It writes my hooks, it writes my frameworks, it writes this video. Why am I not showing people this? And boom, that was it. Instant green light moment. The thumbnail idea, AI wrote the script. Simple, direct, scroll stopping. It hits all the 4 U's of copywriting headlines. Urgent, this is now, not someday. Unique, AI writing the whole script, not another AI tool review. Useful, you get the exact system behind it, and ultra specific. The script, you're watching it happen. The title, there were a few contenders. This changes YouTube forever, but Ed already had that one. Or my secret YouTube script engine powered by AI. And from there, I dropped the whole concept into GPT and said, write a full video explaining exactly how I built and use my AI scripting system. Make it conversational, punchy, and feel like a masterclass. Break it into hook, proof, promise, plan, and story, then dive deep into each section of the plan. Boom. This video was born. Okay, so we've got the engine, we've got the prompt system. Now let's talk about the part that makes the whole thing actually performable. Because what good is a beautifully written script if you stumble through it like a 9-year-old drama student who forgot their lines? This is where formatting for the teleprompter becomes a game changer. Most people think just chuck the script in a teleprompter app and read it, right? Technically, yes, but practically, it's like handing someone sheet music with no rhythm or timing. A raw script without the right delivery cues feels clunky. It's hard to pace. You either read too fast or sound like you're trapped in a corporate webinar hell. So we format it. We write it like a conversation, not a news report. Everything you're hearing right now, the pauses, the rhythm, the energy shifts, it's all written into the script. Let me show you exactly how. I built a formatting language for myself and GPT to follow. And it uses simple, human-friendly cues that guide my performance without interrupting it. Here's what I use. The ellipsis, the 3 little dots. It's a natural pause or a thought trailing off. The forward slash, a gentle breath or a slight pacing break. Upward arrow is an energy lift when it's time to turn it up. Downward arrow, slow it down. Bring the intensity down a notch. Pause brackets, full stop and let the idea land. Caps, maximum emphasis. Underscores, mid-level emphasis. Brackets, subtle emphasis or asides. Now, all of that might seem like overkill, but when you're reading from a screen, this stuff matters. It's the difference between reading a script and performing your thoughts. And it makes the whole thing invisible. Here's the wild part. When it's done right, the viewer never notices. They're not thinking, wow, great use of ellipsis for dramatic pause. They're thinking, damn, this flows. I can't stop watching. Because it sounds like you're just talking. And that's the goal. Most scripts I see are filled with bullet points, bold headlines, and presentation style formats. And here's the problem. You're not giving a PowerPoint. You're performing a story. So my entire scripting method and the formatting style that follows is built to make the teleprompter feel invisible. It flows like a voice note, not a speech. I've trained GPT to write every script in this format. So I don't have to go back and fix things manually. I just copy, paste, and load it into my teleprompter app. Done. It even includes editor notes when needed. Editor, add a text overlay here. Editor, cut to B-roll of a walking meeting. Editor, zoom in slightly for emphasis. This way, I can focus on delivering, not formatting or directing on the fly. Right now, as you're hearing me talk, you're actually hearing the formatting come to life. You can probably hear it. The slight pauses, the pacing shifts, the rhythm of the delivery. That's all written into the script. And it means I can perform this in one take, confidently, without sounding like I'm reading, because I'm not reading, I'm speaking with a guide. So if you're serious about using AI to scale your YouTube channel, formatting for your teleprompter isn't an afterthought, it's a force multiplier. You don't want to sound like a robot. You want to sound like you, just smoother, faster, more focused. When the script is already breathing with you, all you have to do is press record. So let's move on to the next section, how I use performance data and iteration to actually improve this system week after week. Because this isn't just about being prolific, it's about getting better with every video. All right, let's say you've got the engine, you've written the script, you've loaded it into the teleprompter, and you've shot the video like a well-caffeinated professional. You're done, right? Not even close. This is where most creators hit publish and pray. But we're not here to pray, we're here to optimize. Every video you publish is a test, a feedback loop, a goldmine of clues that tell you what's working, what's not, and what needs tweaking. And because the system is AI driven, we can actually feed those lessons back into the engine. That's how I created a self-improving script system. And it's way easier than it sounds. After every upload, I look at 4 key things. Hook retention rate, how many people made it past the first 30 seconds. CTR, click-through rate. Did the title and thumbnail packaging actually make people click? Audience retention curve, where did people drop off? What kept them watching? Comments and playback feedback. What are people actually saying? What questions keep coming up? These are signals, and I treat them like data breadcrumbs to train the next script. Every week I do a mini retrospective. What worked? What didn't? Where did people lean in? Where did they skip out? And then I go back to GPT and update the engine. This hook style got a 76% retention rate. Prioritize more of these. People dropped off right before the CTA. Let's test a tighter transition. Commenters love the story. Let's increase the story ratio in the next video. They asked the same question 12 times. Let's turn that into a new script. You're not just reviewing, you're refining the system. This is where most creators fall short. They see analytics and numbers. I see them as script feedback. So my GPT system has a built-in learning log. After every video, I tell it, here's the title, here's the retention graph, here's the feedback. Update the system, save the patterns, and improve the structure. It remembers what's working. It remembers what to avoid. And next time, it writes smarter. That's not a content strategy. That's a compound content machine. You want to hear something meta? The reason this script flows better than some of my older ones is because we fed the last ones back into the system. It's been learning with me. I'm literally collaborating with a smarter version of my last video. Kind of creepy? Yes. Incredibly effective? Also, yes. So if you're just publishing videos and moving on, you're leaving so much insight on the table. But if you build a performance loop into your YouTube system, you stop being a content creator and you start being a content operator. One who improves with every upload, one who builds momentum. And momentum is how this goes from a few nice videos to a full-blown self-improving content engine. So we've covered the system, we've covered the prompts, we've formatted the scripts, we've tracked the performance. Now the final piece, repeatability. The ability to do this again and again and again without getting stuck, overwhelmed, or burnt out, because that's the real magic here. Let's be honest. If you're running a business, managing a team, serving clients, raising a family, you don't have time to sit in a cave and find inspiration every week. You need a system that generates ideas, structures those ideas, writes in your tone, formats for performance, and improves itself with every cycle. And that's what this engine gives you. This isn't content by hustle. This is content by design. Here's what a typical week looks like for me now. One idea sparks from a walk, a question, a DM, or a client convo. I drop that into GPT with my scripting prompt, and it gives me a structured, on-brand, teleprompter-ready script. I hit record in one smooth take, and my team edits with the built-in edit cues. I review performance, feed it back into the system, rinse, repeat, and scale. From idea to upload, the heavy lifting is handled. I just show up and speak. And listen, I built this out of necessity because I couldn't afford to drop the ball on content, but I also couldn't spend 8 hours per script. So I built a flywheel that makes me prolific by default. This isn't about going viral. It's about building a library of leverage, a body of work that compounds over time, that attracts clients, builds authority, trains your market, all while you sleep. If you're watching this thinking, man, I need this, you're not wrong. You can build your own version of this right now with the same tools I use, with the same structure. All you need is a framework, a few templates, and a willingness to train your AI like it's your head of content. This very script was written by my engine, structured around everything you've just seen, formatted for the teleprompter, delivered in one take. And now it's teaching you how the engine works, while being an example of the engine in action. If that's not the most meta video I've ever made, I don't know what is. If you want to build your own YouTube script engine, I'm thinking of putting together a private training group that walks through the whole thing, step by step. Templates, prompts, frameworks, the works. Only a select few. If that sounds like something you use, drop a comment that says script engine or DM me the words and I'll send you the details. And if this video helped you rethink how to create consistent content at scale, there's another one waiting for you that goes even deeper on creating reels. Click it now and I'll see you there.